And welcome to Grace and the Lotties. Elizabeth here, getting ready to jump back into things, getting to record again, and I'm super excited about that. Going to be in Magical Dawn today. I figured that was so appropriate, you know, coming back and starting the channel back up and getting onto it like Dawn. It was like, this is perfect. We're going to be in this book today. And I picked this picture in particular. I really liked the bird, but I also liked the fact that it was covered by a lot of things to color, and I'm not in the mood to do like a lot of background right now. So I thought, okay, this would be great. I can do a simple background on it, and that'll be a really fun thing to color. Just to let you know, I'm going to be doing this video in a little bit of a different format. It's going to be in 3 parts. I said in my live stream today that I would do 2, but I thought that 3 sounded better once I sat down. I was like, oh, if we do it this way, you know, those ideas come to you in those last minutes. And so the way I'm going to do it is the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to be working with my Progressos, and I'm going to be using those to do like a basic color. And so we're going to have like the beginners video with that one. Then I'm going to come back in possibly with my Stabilo markers and also with the my full koh-i-noor set here to do the next part of the video. And then that way it's kind of like a step up, you know, so it's like a 101 class, then a 102, so it's the next step. And then the third video, because I like having the backgrounds be their own video, so if somebody's looking for background ideas, it's easier to find for people. The third video then I'll be putting in the background. So let's go ahead and jump right in with these Progressos right here. You can see my set, they're a little bit broken. That is normal with Progressos. These are a woodless pencil, so they don't have wood protecting. It's basically like if you just had the inside of a color pencil there and you were just using that spot, so they're a little more fragile. So if you use a little bit too hard of press when you're doing it, they break. Part of it, that's why I keep mine in this nice 10. It's actually for the regular pencils. I'd taken those out and put those in my big bag, and so I had this one available to keep them in and keep them protected. I will have all of these pieces that I'm using down in the description below, so that way if you want to go check them out, you can go. Full disclosure, they are affiliate links, so it's a way that you can also help support this channel, because I do get a teeny bit from Amazon when you order something through that as well. So full disclosure there with that. I like my little Stapler sharpener right here. I'm super happy with that. I had an art store, and I'm going to be using Gamsol to blend. I consider Gamsol blending a beginner technique because it's really simple, and what you can get out of that is just incredible in your pieces. So that's why that one is there. So also with my Progressos, I may pull in just one of my Prismacolors, this white, because it blends a little bit differently, and I like to use that for a blend. It gives a different shading and effect when you blend with the white for a white blend. So that is it for our, also one filbert brush right here, size 2. I like the size 2 because it gets into the little areas nicely. You can use a bigger one for larger areas, but looking at this piece as a whole, there weren't really that many larger areas where I was going to need that. So that size 2 right there, and a napkin to blot my brush on between too. So that is all there. So we are ready to get started. I'm like really excited to finally get moving on this. So first one I'm gonna pull out, because I haven't even done a color map on this. I'm just jumping right in. I love creating really fun pink and magenta kind of flowers, and so these guys right here are just going to be that bright pop of color. So let's just jump right in. We're going to be using number 16, and I will have all of these in titles below when I go back to edit this, so that it's really easy for you to follow along with what we're doing. And what I'll do is I'll keep one of these in real time, and then we'll speed it up so that way you're not having to watch me do the same one. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting in some of this deep number 16 right here, where it's going to be really deep in. Thinking about where shadows might sit on this. And we're just going to shadow that in. And I love the way yellow plays against this color too. getting used to having this microphone on my face. I love the sound these microphones get, so I'm really excited to get to record on these today. Now I have these sharpened to a pretty sharp point to get into these little spaces nicely. There is that first color. I'm going to come in with my number 15. This one's a little more purple. And I'm just blending out. And I'm going to use these dots as a guide where the petal might be a little darker. Then I'm gonna go super light. So when I come in with my next one, I'm gonna use the pink next. To finish this off, it will be really ready. See, then lighter. The Gamsol does a great job of getting in there and really blending these together. I think it actually makes things easier than trying to do it all by just your pressure. Just to note that it's always easier to go back in and add color than it is to take color out. So pressing lightly and adding layers is your friend. With the pink, and you can see my pink is super little, number 14 right here. I'm going to go through all through what I just put down. liking that so far. I'm probably going to go back and add in some more deeper tones once I blend this to really make it pop. So now I've got my brush here with some Gamsol on it. And I'm just going to blend these guys together. And just the color saturation that you get using Gamsol is incredible. I love the look that you get with it because I'm just starting. I need to put a little bit more so my brush wakes up. Find that the color that's the prettiest with these is yellow. So when we get to the yellow in a minute, you'll get to see how that just will go pop and wake right up. This just gives you such a beautiful, smooth color. So there is the first layer laid down, and I'm going to go back in now with my deep shade. This was, again, number 16. I'm looking to make sure I say the right one. That we're just going to come in and just add in just that little bit more color down here. You can see now that I went back and added in just how much that's making it pop for dimension. Just love watching the colors come to life. Always fun. Now coming back with the 15. I'm just using this right now to blend what I just did just a little bit more. It's not quite so harsh. Look at that. That is just a lot of color right there, all nice and in. Now, for the next little bit here, these parts that are flipping over, typically the underside of a petal is a little more muted. And this is one of those spots where I'm going to use the white that I brought over for the Prismacolor white on purpose for blending here, because I'm going to take this, and this will kind of give it that milky, slightly chalky appearance. And it'll make it stand out from the other side. So I'm just putting a teeny bit of pink in here. That white will grab onto the pink. And the pink, just FYI, is number 14 again. I'm not going to use the Gamsol to blend here. I'm just going to use that Prismacolor white that's right here. We're just going to take that in and use it. And it's a subtle difference, but subtle bits across your whole page are what make a huge difference when you're finished. So there are those put in. Okay. Now it's time for these fun yellows. Now, in the Progresso set, you have basically 2 yellows to work with. You have the number 1 and the 13. You also have a beautiful ochre, and I'm going to grab my bottom because this one's broken, that is number 21. And I like using these together, but there's also times where I need a hair darker shade, and I will jump in then with my brown to really drop that in, or depending on what the shadow is, I may go with an opposite color, which the opposite of yellow is, I remember my opposite's purple, and that can also create a pretty deep shade as well. I don't see needing an ultra deep one on this just because of the way that it is laid out. So I'm just going to use my ochre to start. Sometimes you get a little surprise when you get into it and you're like, okay, I need a little bit more. And you can always go back and go darker. It's a lot easier to go darker than it is to go lighter. And this is also a great spot for the advanced technique that we'll be covering in the next video, where you can use a marker to come in and do this bit in those really tight areas like that. So I'm kind of thinking about these being little bulbous and round. These little bits are what I really love, the teeny details. And now with the number 1, I'm going to go in and add, now that I see it, it does need a teeny bit of love to create a darker shade in here. I'm going to come in with just this little bit of this brown. I'm going so light in here. Just the littlest bit. these areas to just show that they're a little bit back. I'm going to use my ochre here to just blend that in a little bit more. I'm looking at how vivid this came out, and I'm not going to need to hit it with any of the Gamsol. So there we are. One of the things you may notice with this is I am not putting in any white right now. One of the reasons I'm not doing that is I like going back and doing my really deep white details, and I say deep white because I want them to be that like super crisp, non-muddy white, is I like to do that with a gel pen at the end. So rather than trying to think, oh, where's it going to be and leaving white, I find it's easier to put the color in and then come back and do highlights. So that's my style of doing it. There's not 100% right or wrong way on this. It's just the style that you like. So that is where that is for this one. Now I've done all of this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and speed it up and do the rest of these flowers that are like this one, because it's just repeating the same thing. And so you don't need that in real time. So now that you know this one, you can either pause, do your own, listen to my music, whatever, but it makes for a really boring video for me to do all of these in that. So gonna speed it up. I will still put my titles underneath so that you can follow along with them, with what color it is, so that you don't get lost with that too. So that is it. I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, ready to start on our next area here, and I'm going to be working on these cute little flowers up here at the top. I love the way these just hang, and I was thinking of some different color schemes than I've typically used, because a lot of times I'll use the color I did on these flowers, that pink with a cream, but I thought I was going to go a little bit more vivid with these, so we're going to go with an orange and a purple. Where is my purple? There it is. Don't know why I couldn't see it up here. Orange, purple, and yellow on these. And I'm really kind of excited about that because it's going to be pretty, it's going to be one of those like super vivid up there at the top. A little different, a little fun because birds to me, I love doing bluebirds. So the bird's going to be blue. So just kind of give you an idea of where I'm going on this. I'm really looking forward to doing this. So the first guy I have grabbed here is, I'm having to look at the bottom, number 8 right here with the purple. Now, this set doesn't have a lot of purples, and so to create deeper shades, I'm going to have to use a couple of others, but I'm just going to put in purple and use the one pencil to make it go from a light to dark gradient, because I thought it'd be nice to have this part. I've gone back and forth, and I think I'm going to do the purple right here on these inner bits, because I think that'll create the most interest, having the orange and then the yellow versus going purple, orange, yellow going in. I think this will make it really pop right here color wise. So I'm just going to go pretty deep in here, a lot of pressure, and around the edge because that's sitting on top of it. Same on this side, and then go a little bit lighter, or sorry, around the edge dark. And then as I come in, going lighter with it. So fill this in a little bit and then just lighten my pressure. As I come into the inside right there. Remembering too that I'm putting a little more here on the edge. Right there. So with that one, one thing, and you'll see I'm going to do it with this one rather. On the last set I did flower by flower, because I'm using such different shades in this. I'm going to be using my Gamsol to blend. You want to make sure that you're not going to get a color bleed with this. So when I do the further, you'll see when I do the rest of these in the speed up, I'm going to do all of one color at a time and then come back and do the next color and the next one. And that allows me to not make the mistake of having a dirty brush when you come in. And sometimes you can do that with, a blender pencil as well, when you don't clean it and you end up and you go in and it's like, oh no, I just totally put the last color into this area, and it's not what I wanted to do. It was not the look I was going for, and you end up having to come back in and fix it. So you see this beautiful purple that this is creating, and I am very happy with that. So I'm not going to go in and tweak it with any other colors. Seeing it like that, it's like, yes, I am very, very happy with that. So the next one I'm going to come in and do is now the orange, and this beautiful vermilion red is number 9 right here, and the number 2 right here. Those do a lot right there for colors, for laying in and creating a really good range for being as simple as it is, just the 2. So I'm going to put this vermilion up here. I think it's actually light vermilion. I did not bring my color sheet in with me, so I don't have my names in front of me. And I'm going to do the same setup that I did on the last one, where this area will be darker. Then bring it in a little bit here. Really deep up here and around. Then come back in with that number 2 orange. It's a really nice little orange right here, you'll see. And I'm not not going to go all the way. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to really liven this shade up. Is rather than going in for my last little bit right here with the orange, I'm going to use number 13 yellow, and the Gamsol will make this really come to life. And use that as my final shade in here. It just makes it this really nice, warm, happy, sunny orange. That little bit of yellow in there. So it's not beautiful and great yet, but just watch here. I'm going to clean my brush, make sure there's no purple on it here. Now we're ready to come in. Watch this just go pop. I blend these guys together, and that little bit of yellow just grabs onto the orange. You just see how beautiful that does. It just really makes it come to life. Right there. And now to come in with the yellow, same kind of technique that we did here. I'm going to use the ochre first, just where these shaded areas are. I really want this to be mostly bright yellow. Just a little bit with the darker yellow. Now we're going to go in with that really bright number 1 yellow. I like that a lot. I like that. It's really bright and vivid. I wanted to see what it looked like, and I am going to come in now and do it on this little bit on the inset right here. Make that pink. And that was the number 15, and now the number 13 on this. Sorry, 14. 13's the orange. To pull it in right there to kind of finish that off right there. So lots of color on this flower. I really wanted it to be bright and happy and kind of like tropical feeling too. So I'm really happy with that color. It's all going to be up here, so it is going to create movement with that bright orange up there because it does draw the eye to it, but it's going to be in one area. And so I'm going to have to come up with something that's going to kind of balance that ultra vivid orange down here. We'll get to there in a minute when we get down there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all of these up in the speed up, and I will see you guys back in a moment. Now I made it to the last set of flowers, so I'm excited. You know, we've done these up here with the orange and purple and then the pink here. I've decided to do these bottom ones bright red. I'm like in a red mood, so I thought, okay, we'll do these red. Now, one thing to remember in your progressos is that the one that's the regular red, and I pulled it out here, mine's broken, it's number 10. It looks very, very pink when you look at it, but this is the true red in this set. When you lay it down, you'll be able to like, oh yeah, once you start using it, it's like, yeah, that's really, really red. Because of that, there isn't really a deeper shade to use in this set. I will be going in with, and I'm probably gonna have to test it as I go in to get the exact look that I want, but I'll probably be using the deeper blue and the purple. And let me pull up my number real quick here. It is number 7 here with the blue, and then the number 8 with this purple here to really work in some deeper shades with that. The number 16 does a little bit, but it doesn't really go really deep. It's actually better, I found, to use that to blend the two together than it is for me to rely on it to do the shadowing with the red. So that's just some trial and error that I've learned for what I like when I see it, just to kind of share with you. Basic, I'm going to be doing this as an orangey red, so I will be using that vermilion that we had before right here, number 9, to help pull out, and maybe a little bit of pink. I don't like to use a lot of pink when I'm doing red, just because the pink tends to take over, and it, rather than it staying a really bright, pretty red, it quickly goes into the pink shade of things. You end up with more fuchsias and that type of shades, and that's not what I'm going here. I want that like really pretty poppy color of red on this. So getting ready to go in on these last ones, I will go right here. Now that I've talked through where I'm doing, let me find a good one right here. This one's kind of on top so that we can go through the stages with it. Let me grab, I'm going to start with purple. If I put in the blue, I'm kind of stuck with the blue with it, so this will allow me a little bit of leeway here. I'm going to go purple in the middle. It's just I'm not going very dark with it. I'm not pressing really, really hard because I'm going to let the red take over. Go over all of that I just put down. This one I will go back over and over. Reds are just a hair tricky to keep them really nice and vivid. So I would rather go back in, go over again and again to get it where I'm happy with. So I'm going to go real light up here. And I'm going to go over and do it dark here. I'm pushing a lot more with my red right in there. See, I created a little bit of shadowing there with it. Do the same thing down here. I'll lay those in first on this one now that I've got an idea where I'm going. I'm leaving a little bit of space for that vermilion to come in a moment. Going over these lines right here. Try to deepen it in here just a little bit. just using that difference in how I press to create the different values on this. So I can see where I'm going. I'm going to grab my purple again, just kind of add in a little bit right along the line here. Just to really set that back. Now, I'm gonna go with that vermilion on top. Coming in here. And there we go. I am happy with the way that has come together right there. Now I'm going to hit it with the Gamsol. Clean my brush. Even though the last one I used it on was a purple, and there's purple in this, so it wouldn't be a huge issue. But always a good habit to make sure you maintain to clean your brush between. And this is going to take down a little bit of my contrast. I'm going to come back in and put a little bit more in. This is going to really wake up. Look at that. Pretty vivid red on there. And I'm going to deepen the shadow just a little bit. This one I am going to go in now with the 16 just a little bit. Since that strong line is there with the purple, I'm using this now as kind of a blend-in shade. Look at that. Now I want to put in just a teeny bit more where sharpen it nice and because I'm going to come in now, just kind of hit these little spots just a little bit here and blend that just a little bit more. I just put in that one shade. And having this nice sharp tip allows you to get right in there, as well as redden this up just a little bit in the middle. It's a little too purple for what I want. Here we go, almost done. I just got an email. So here we are, almost done with this. With that red, and I am very happy with the way that looks on there. Super bright, super vivid. Remember that for that really, for the shiny white areas, I am going to use a gel pen to do that. I find it gives the cleanest look. So I'm not ultra concerned with keeping super white areas right now because I'm going to come in and do those later. A lot cleaner. I'm happier with the end result. Yellow again on the inside on these. Because these are kind of so little here, I need to sharpen this one. I'm using the darker shade of yellow for the sticks. And then I'm going to use the lighter shade of yellow right here. And I probably will end up using a little bit of glitter on these when all is said and done. Some yellow glitter right here. So that'll be a fun bit of sparkle down here when I'm done. So there is that flower. I'm going to go through now and speed it up and do the rest of them, and that will have all the flowers done. So the next after the flowers, we'll come in and do all the greenery.